Hey, I'm Ivy and welcome back. I had a dream about this look inspired by the Woodlands. It literally kept me up at night, so I couldn't sleep until I did it. So here it is. I'm using the Phytosurgence Verdant Forcefield as my lovely moisturizing base. It's just one of my favorite everyday products for underneath makeup. And then I'm gonna go in and do my brow routine, sped up here so that you guys don't have to sit through the entire thing. I've actually tried other brow products recently just to see if I'm still actually into the ones that I have or just used to them, but I'm still into the Glossier Brow Flick and then whatever brow gel I have lying around. In this case, it's the Cosmetics brow cream. But yeah, the brow flick, it's really just still a ride or die for me in terms of getting my brows looking exactly how I want them. And this is another kind of ride or die, new to my collection, but in use all the time. That's the Cosmetics Putty Primer. I love how it minimizes my pores and again, just feels really good on the face and sits well under makeup. Today I decided to try out the Rare Beauty Illuminating Primer on top of that. Don't ask me why. That's basically like 3 layers of primer, but I thought it would be fun. And then I'm going to use this Nars Soft Matte Complete Concealer, but I'm actually going to use it more like a foundation. I'm using a really small, fluffy Real Techniques setting brush to apply that to my face. I've done a super dewy base so that even though it's a soft matte concealer, it's actually gonna still feel really nice and glowy on top of that base. And then I'm going in with the e.l.f. Cosmetics Flawless Brightening Concealer with a sponge to kind of just perfect a little bit more under the eyes. I have to say I literally made a huge mistake doing this with this dry sponge. I should have wet my sponge, and if you're going to use a beauty sponge, you should always wet it, but I don't know why I just decided to use a dry sponge. This is a new and lovely gift from my husband. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette, and I'm using the bronzer in the palette to give myself sort of like a soft glow. I really like how this bronzer looked on top of the base that I did. It had some pearlescent kind of light in it, and so it really did give you kind of a really beautiful soft illuminated effect, which is nice because I usually just use a straight matte bronzer. Then I'm just applying a little bit of the lip sleeping mask from Laneige. This is absolutely one of the best lip balms I've ever used. So here is the hero of the hour. This is the At Forest Sight palette. It is a collab that Raw Beauty Kristi did with Colourpop, and it is exactly what I knew I needed to use to make this look come to life. So I started out with the shade Homegrown, which is a nice sort of warm dark brown matte, and I'm using a small pencil brush to create basically like a wing shape that I'm going to use to start an ombre look across the eyes. So I wanted to start with the darkest shade and then move along the eye with each shade in succession. So I went in after that with the warmer red shade in Rainier with a flat shader brush to kind of blend into that dark homegrown color and start to get into that deeper red color. And this was the whole, I guess, dream that I had, which was doing this sort of like soft matte brown eye that led into this really beautiful green transition with a little bit of sparkle on the inner corner. And don't ask me why things like this are keeping me up at night. I couldn't answer that, but it did. So I went in the middle with the shade Puffball. It's kind of like a lighter, almost greenish brown. And then on the inside, before I get to the sparkle, I'm using the green shade Fiddlehead, which is a really unique and beautiful color. It's like this mossy green. For the sparkle, I had to use the duochrome shade in Evergreen from the palette. I'm just using my finger to apply that to the inner corner. It is a gorgeous shade, and I knew that it would be perfect for this look. I did want to kind of amp up the sparkle though a tiny bit more, so I decided to dip into my large indie palette of shadows to see what I could find that might help this look come together even more. So I bring in a little bit of 365 from JD Glow Cosmetics, which is a gorgeous shade, and then a little bit of the Terra Moon Cosmetics in Hot Spice Cider, which is remarkably close to the Evergreen shade in the the Raw Beauty Kristi palette if you're looking for a dupe for that, and it's a great shadow. This was another last minute kind of decision when I was starting to do the look. I wanted to do a green liner, and this green from Revlon in their skinny liner is a little bit brighter of a green than I was originally thinking. I thought I would do something that would almost read as brown or green, but I really like how it just brightened up the look and almost made it more graphic than I had originally planned for. So I like that was a last minute decision that I made. I'm using some of the Big Mood mascara from e.l.f. Cosmetics on my upper lashes, and I don't normally do falsies. In fact, I don't really ever do falsies, but when I am looking for something a little bit stronger, something like the Big Mood mascara works really well. And then on the lower lash line, I'm using the e.l.f. Lash It Loud mascara, which is just a little bit more simple. And then for blush, I'm doing a combination. So this is the Tower 28 Beauty BeachPlease tint, and I'm using that as my main blush, and then I went in a little bit with Ember from Phytosurgence to peach it up a little bit and make it a little bit warmer and rosier. I don't know, I feel like I can't do a video where I don't use a Phytosurgence product, so sorry about that, but love them. And then for the lips, I'm doing 2 shades from Jason Wu Beauty. So on the outer corners of my mouth, I'm using the shade Cannoli, and then in the middle, I'm going to go in with the shade Biscotti, which is a lovely kind of neutral tan color. So together, I thought that they would give me kind of like that perfect nude lip. And the Hot Fluff multi-sticks are great. I wouldn't say that the range is terribly varied in terms of the colors, so you don't need a ton of these in your collection, but as a product that works really across your whole face, I can't recommend them enough. I think they're great. At this point, I did need some caffeine. I was pretty tired, and I am so happy with how this look came together. I really am. It's exactly how I dreamed it, maybe even a little bit better, and I just love this palette so much, so I was really excited to get a chance to use it again and share with you guys. So this is me signing off. Till next time. Thanks.